Hi, ladies. Welcome to this week's edition of In Between Rounds. This is going to be part one of three. So, I really want to dive into that mind muscle connection. All right, it's really important that we're aware of how much the body can affect your mind, but also how much your mind can affect your body. So, if you are someone who is really looking into making changes in your strength or changes in your physique, these topics are going to be very important for you. So, this is going to really help elevate your workouts. Now, if you're someone whose goal is simply just to move more, what I'm saying is still important, but it may not resonate as much with you if you're just looking to get moving and keep that blood flowing. So, where I want to sort of start by bringing your attention is I'm really going to have you focus on engaging your target muscles. So, those are the muscles that we are trying to work with each exercise. So, this is a great path to better technique. If you know what you're supposed to be working and you're focusing on contracting them and feeling them, you can seriously change the workout. You can take one of those like meh reps and turn it into a killer rep. And that's essentially what I'm looking for. I mean, I am not looking for you to kill yourself, but I want you to feel like you're getting good use of your time. You're getting efficient and effective workouts so that you're using the time. Like, so if you're setting this time aside to work out, I really want you getting the best benefit that you can with that time. So, there are three main topics that I'm going to go over to sort of bridge the gap here. So, first, the thing that's going to really help with that mind muscle connection is actually your breath. While you're working out, it's very important that you are exhaling on exertion. I am going to go into your breath a lot deeper next week, but for now, start thinking about with each and every rep that you are exhaling on exertion. That's going to help engage your core. That's going to help push. You're going to be able to activate a bit more and get through that motion. The second thing will be the week following is to focus on engaging your core. And when I say core, I want to remind you, because I've talked about this in the past, but don't worry, I'll be going over it in 2 weeks. You have 360 degrees of your core. So a lot of times people say core and they kind of think abs. But I want you to remember that your core is like, if I sliced you in half, right? You got 360 degrees. You got your front, you got the sides, and you've got the back. So you need to have 360 degrees of pressure when you're activating that core. And that's going to be that solid foundation you need to build all the strength that you're going to be building upon it, but it's also going to give you so much benefit just in your regular daily life because you're building a solid foundation to do everything from. So again, I'm going to dive into that in a couple weeks. But for now, today's chat is actually going to be about seriously committing to feeling each rep. All right? I want you to shift your focus from lifting more weight. And yes, I do realize I am suggesting you lift more weight in a workout like this week because we're decreasing the reps. So I do still want you to follow that pattern, but I don't want you to be so focused on PBing with weights at the risk of sort of losing your form. What I care more about is the work that you're doing. So how things are activating. So the work that you get from the weight that you're lifting. Because often what happens when people are too consumed with trying to increase their weight, to get that PB, to push more, they start to push the weights faster, get a little sloppier just to mark that down and get that PB. So that to me is not what I'm trying to go for. I want you to feel good. I want you to feel like you're really working each and every time that you push those weights. Because, like I was saying, you should actually feel every exercise. All right, I'm going to go into that a little bit more, and I'm going to show you a few ways to help activate things, because your muscles can activate, but I want you to connect with them and really acknowledge that feeling, because often we are not present enough when we're doing our exercises. Life is stressful, and I get that, and you want to use exercise as an escape, and I think you should. But if you're mindlessly doing your exercises, you're really not getting as much benefit from the exercises that you can. Don't get me wrong, a mindless workout is you're still moving your body, you're still getting some benefit. But for many of you who are looking for results, I want you to get more out of it. So I want you to be present, and I want you to escape life by focusing on your body. If you focus on what your body's doing, how it's moving, what it's feeling, and really go inside, I promise you, you can't think about anything else. So the stress of your day, of work, of family, of anything, it's on hold for a few moments there, or however long that workout is, because you're so engaged with what you're doing. All right. So we are going to actually try to find the most difficult way to move. That's how you make it harder on your muscles, but easier on your joints. So what I mean by that is we're going to learn to be solid and to get everything working for us and with us. And so I'm going to give you a little exercise here. So I sort of want you to give yourself a little bit of space, because I want you to do this with me. And this is just a great way to build that awareness with essentially your muscle activation. So what I'm going to have you do is stand in sort of like an athletic stance. So feet are going to be a little wider than shoulder width apart. I want your knees soft. I want, your hands are out like you could move any way. So just being here, we're going to start by just sort of like lifting our chest, setting the shoulder blades down and back, and then just feeling what happens in our body even when you just do that. Lift the chest, shoulder blades back. Okay, now think about big exhale. So you're tightening, we're pushing that belly in to exhale. I want you to almost like stretch your fingertips out. And so all of a sudden we just created a lot of like energy through our body. So you should be feeling things in this position. And I'm not muscling it out. Okay, I'm just sort of like noticing those contractions. From here and from this position, we're going to keep our legs the same. I want you to bring your arms forward as if you had your hands on like a motorcycle here. So you've got your hands on that motorcycle, so we're making a grip with our hands. Now what I'm going to have you do is, this is a metal motorcycle. It's a bar actually. So I want you to try to bend the bar. Now you have to remember it is metal, so we can't just bend it like this. So picture it's metal, you can't actually bend it, but you are trying to bend it. So you're rotating your arms, or trying to rotate your arms, but you're resisting yourself against this pretend bar you have here. You can also picture like if you had an orange in your armpit, like you're trying to like squish that orange, but again, you are hanging onto that bar, so you can't just squish it. Okay, you're rotating slightly. So notice how you get a little more feeling through your shoulders, through your chest, right here, poke right here. That's going to be nice and hard. So continue to try to bend that bar. I'm almost losing you. Whoops. And so we're going to bend that bar. And now what I want you to do with your feet is you're going to try to rip the carpet. So I'm digging my toes into the floor and my heels into the floor, and I want to think I'm ripping that carpet, so I'm pushing out into the floor, but I've got a good grip and I just want to shred it apart, and I'm bending those handlebars. And notice how now your thighs, okay, your calves even, your glutes, they're engaged as you rip that carpet apart. What happened to your abs? Well, they also naturally engaged because everything else was firing. So this is essentially a standing plank. Everything here is engaged. You can relax. But that's essentially what you should feel when you're planking. That's what you should feel when you're doing your squats. Do we have our hands out here? No, but notice how I've talked about setting the shoulder blades. So your shoulders get to rest, but by setting the shoulder blades, think about almost like you're ripping that carpet apart. Then you're doing the squats, and your core just naturally fires much more. You're going to feel more through your legs because you're drilling out this way, corkscrewing your feet into the floor like this. They're not actually moving because they have grip into the floor, but you're going to get so much more feeling through those thighs. So as you guys have seen, I can lift a significant amount of weight in a squat, but I just did one body weight squat and I felt it. And that's truly what I want you guys going for with each rep. If you want to make those changes, if you want your body or your physique to change, if you want to increase your strength, you have to try to almost find that path of more resistance. So you're actually creating that within your body by activating it more and not rushing through it. And I'm going to give you the hard truth. If you are able to do all 10 reps perfectly and easily, well, you actually just practiced staying the exact same. Okay? It shouldn't be. If it's easy and your form is perfect, you're not going to see changes. You need to get to that point where it's challenging, and you don't have to kill yourself, but it's not easy, and you do start to feel like, oh, I can feel my technique will start to slide if I try to do one or two more. That's what's going to help you see the difference. And I mentioned, people are rushing through things. Fast is easy. Fast is so much easier than slow. Slow is hard, so slow yourself down. And finally, it's important to bridge the gap between what looks right versus what feels right. Now, I say that because a lot of you are working out from home, and it may feel like you're doing it correctly, but you maybe don't have a mirror in your workout area, nor are you using it. And sometimes you don't see everything. So I am actually going to challenge you to record yourself. Use that video, because it's not until you see yourself doing the exercises that you realize, oh, I didn't realize I was folding forward, or my legs look like my knees wobble in when I'm doing that, so I need to be more aware of pushing them out. So it's like the video is such a valuable tool for those of you who are working out at home by yourself, because we want to bridge that gap so that what's feeling correct inside is also what is looking correct, and that movement is correct. So be conscious of every movement that you make. Find the difficult way, activate more, and pay attention to when things feel easy. And now I'm using those in quotations because I was talking to one of the SheFitters about, sometimes I use those comments, oh, if this feels easy, here's how you can make it harder. And I guess I need to reword that. I know not always is it easy. You're still doing an exercise, so perhaps it doesn't feel easy, but it may not feel difficult. And so that's the thing. If you are ready to take it to the next level, it's important that you do. We all remember where we started and things were much, much more difficult then. Of course, I don't expect you to ever go back to feeling that again, but you want to continue to push yourselves and find those ways to make each exercise feel just a little bit harder so you can get just a little bit more from it. Let me know if you do have any questions about this. You can just put them in the comments below. I will get back to you and answer all of them. And I will go into sort of that next element about the breath work relating to this mind and muscle connection. That'll happen next week. So have a good rest of the day. I will see you guys on the internet. Take care.